I'm Quin, and I'm back in this ridiculous fake fur, so that can only mean one thing. Yes, I'm here to talk about the 5th book in the Earth Children series. And gosh, it's been a while. This one I took my time reading, mostly because a lot of it is very repetitive in the beginning, and it's kind of frustrating because we've seen this in like 2 other books where Ayla meets new people, they are confused by her weirdness and her ability to heal and the way she was raised by the Neanderthals, or flatheads as they call them. And it's a lot, some of it is just kind of like, oh geez, here we go again. That's like the big complaint that I find from other people about some of the later books, is that it does get kind of repetitive. So she has to, prove herself, and people don't like it, but then some people do, and blah, 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 blah. The only thing really different about this is that this is, like, she's with John Delar, and these are his people, so he's, kind of embarrassed, but also just really wants them to accept her, because he already learned his lesson of the last time. He was embarrassed by her, and then he almost lost her because she almost, married somebody else. Let's see. I'm like, oh, this is exhausting. It really is. Like, I don't like John Delar. I don't like him at all. He's very frustrating, and she could do better. She should have stayed with the other guy. From, I think it was the 3rd book. Yeah. Okay, so this book, I guess I didn't mention it, is called Shelters of the Stone, and it is a bit of a relief because they're finally not traveling anymore. They are, like, making the efforts to find their forever home. Since they're finally with John Delar's people, that means they're gonna get married, and Ayla's pregnant, so she goes through that, and she's really apprehensive about giving birth because she thinks it's going to be like really, really terrible, the way it was when she had her son that was part of one of the clan, and because she had to leave him back in book 1, and this whole time, like, she's been so worried and just having little ideas and fantasies of going back to see him, going back to see Dirk, but that's just not going to happen. And I'm curious to whether I'm going to find out if he actually lived, because a part of me just kind of assumed that Browd and the others probably, the others of the clan rather, probably killed him or just let him die. I don't really know. Like, I hope for Ayla's sake that maybe we find out, maybe he'll be okay. The stuff that I did find really interesting about this book is that we do get to meet the spiritual guide. I don't really know how to pronounce their name. It's like Zell and Donnie or Doni or something. I don't know. Instead of that, I'm just going to call them like the spiritual leader. And that was the person that John Delar fell in love with, and back when he was really young. And that was kind of illegal. Like, they're not supposed to fall in love with that person. So the stuff between them is kind of weird. Obviously Ayla starts to make friends, and her healing. Wow, this is a really not so great review. The stuff that I liked about this is that we get to see Ayla's feelings towards, like, her purpose in life and what humanity's purpose is, and I found that incredibly interesting. I wasn't quite expecting them to go that far with it. And she still has her theories, and she speaks about them with the spiritual leader, that, she, as I mentioned even way back in book 1, that they find it really controversial to think that sex makes babies. Like, they still seem to think it's like a spirit thing. Even the Neanderthals, the flatheads, thought that too. So it's very interesting, and the spiritual leaders are also realizing, like, they've had theories that maybe the flatheads aren't as, animals as everybody thinks. So it's a lot of trying to change opinions again, and, like, challenging beliefs that everyone's held forever, evolution, that kind of thing. I do applaud the author, because a lot of research had to go into this, and it's really fascinating, the world that she's created. Also, of course, Ayla being the slightly Mary Sue, but still awesome. She discovers this really famous cave that actually exists in real life, and they imply that their artist that is among that group is the one that painted it. Of course, I didn't put in my notes where it was, but there's supposed to be like where this area is located in the world. Like they just made Ayla find it. So, yay! Thanks, Ayla. She still has her pets. She has her horses. Well, her companions, her horses. She still has Wolf. And it's really sad he gets injured in this one, but he's fine. He's okay. I still really love that. Everybody just thinks that Ayla's like just all sorts of magic. And the spiritual leader really wants to take Ayla under her wing and train her to be the next spiritual leader, because she knows that she's not going to be around very long, and Ayla's incredibly powerful. And Ayla finally like tells John Delar that she had a moment that she wasn't supposed to have all the way back in book 1, when she had to be the medicine woman for the clan and for the clan meeting, so that the elders could have their, you know, powerful, like, I don't know, it just kind of seemed like they were probably just all on hallucinogens. I can talk today, I promise. This fake fur, it's making me warm and uncomfortable. But she accidentally partook of some of that and saw like the beginning of humanity and like what's coming in the future, and the theories that she has are kind of dangerous, like as we've seen in every single book. You know, her ideas are weird and challenging. So I have no idea what they're gonna do with the next book, because I think this one, Shelters of the Stone, came out in 2002, I want to say, and the very last book is from 2011, I think, so that's a lot of time. I have no idea how this is gonna end, and it's been a really fun journey, even frustrating, but I'm gonna definitely take my time with book 6 like I did with 5. I usually read a lot of books at one time, so it's not like I'm just reading that book and it took me forever. Have you read this book? Did you find it frustrating? I still think that the first one is the best, and the movie was still really great. I don't know, but part of me wishes that this would get picked up as a series with like some weight behind it, you know, and at least it's finished, and unlike some other series that we put all our time into, but I feel like it would be really great if this was made into a show, like a big budget show. That would be awesome. Alright, I guess I'm gonna wrap this up because I've rambled long enough, and yeah, see you guys next time. Bye!